Hi, I'm Courtney at womenlivingwell.org, home of Good Morning Girls, and we are reading through the Bible cover to cover, just one chapter a day. Sometimes we're in the Old Testament, sometimes we're in the New Testament, but this week we began our study in the book of Job, and I am so excited to begin this journey with you. You know, I wonder today where you're at in your seasons of life. Are you in the midst of a trial, or is something in your life completely unraveling where it just seems like it's crumbling and falling apart? We see as we look at the life of Job that he saw his life was crumbling and God was taking things from him and he did not know why. You see, he was an upright, he was a blameless man who was faithful, and Satan had sought the permission to take things from him, and God said he'll still be faithful. He's an upright, blameless man. I know he'll still worship me no matter what. And that was true, because when his children died, when his wealth was taken from him, and when his health was taken from him, Job did not sin. He continued to worship God. And so I wonder in our lives, what is it right now that you feel like you don't understand why God would allow this to be taken from you? Maybe it is your marriage that seems to be unraveling. Or maybe it's another relationship, a friendship, or a child, a son or a daughter, or a job, or it's your health. Something in your life, I know, is hard. And sometimes we can lay in our bed at night and we can night after night after night ask God, why? Why is this happening? And answers don't come always. But one thing I see in the book of Job is that he did not have the ability to see the spiritual battle that was happening in heaven. He didn't know that Satan had gone before God's throne. He didn't know that he was glorifying God when he continued to praise God despite what he was going through. And so I see a man who, rather than getting the answers that he wanted in the moment, he stood on God's promises and he was sure. And I think in our own lives, that's what we need. That even though we don't have answers, and when I think back over trials, I think, you know what, not very often do I get the answer right then in my trial of why God was doing what he was doing. But what I do know is that I can stand on a God whose promises are sure. That he says he will never leave me or forsake me. That he says that he is going to take me to heaven. That I have a great hope in that. That he loves me. In Isaiah 43, he says, "Fear not, for I have redeemed you." And he says that when you walk through the waters, I will be with you. They will not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. Our God promises to go with us wherever we go. And we can stand on that promise even when we don't have answers. Recently, I was going through something difficult, and so I put on the screensaver of my phone. It says, "Be still and know," and it's from Psalm 46:10. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." At the beginning of Psalm 46, it says that our God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. He is present. He is with us, and I cling to that when I am going through hard times. And so my daughter saw my screensaver, and she was at a friend's house and they were painting, her and her little friend. And so she put the little chevron pattern just like the background to my screensaver, and she put, "Be still and know that I am God." She put that verse there for me, and she said, "Mom, I know you're having trouble sleeping at night, so you can put this beside your bed and it'll help you." And she's right, it does. Because every time my mind wants to work on those things, trying to ask God why, trying to understand, I'm reminded, be still. Be still and trust in the sovereignty of God, that we are in his good hands and that he loves us, that he is working all things together for the good and for his glory. And so I encourage you today, no matter what you're facing, no matter what you're going through, that you will continue to worship God and worship your way out of this trial that you're in right now. I look forward to these 8 weeks with you in the book of Job. We are going to see his friends come. They sit with him for 7 days and 7 nights. It's beautiful the way they comfort him. But then they're going to give him some advice that's not always the greatest. And it's kind of a long journey through the book of Job as we have to go through all this different counsel. But in the end, we see that Job is going to be rewarded for his faithfulness. So I'm so thankful that you're joining us on this journey together. Stay strong. Remember that God is your refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Keep walking with the King.